We are the most connected generation in human history, and yet somehow the loneliest. You can talk to thousands but rarely be seen. You can scroll for hours and still feel empty. You can share everything except your truth. We built a digital world that promised unity, but quietly fractured the human soul. Because the opposite of loneliness isn't company. It's connection, and somewhere along the way we lost it. We live in an age where everyone is reachable, but few are truly known. We have instant messages, but delayed emotions. Constant notifications, but no one who truly notices. Our lives are flooded with noise, yet our hearts remain dry with silence. Loneliness today isn't just emotional pain. It's the silent epidemic of our century. It creeps through crowded rooms, glowing screens, and perfectly curated lives that feel increasingly hollow. We call it disconnection, but it's deeper than that. It's a spiritual hunger, a psychological thirst for meaning, belonging, and presence. The tragedy is, we mistake attention for intimacy and visibility for love. We're told we're connected, but what we really are is scattered. Our identities, our attention, our sense of self, fragmented across infinite screens. And in the process of being everywhere, we've forgotten how to be anywhere. This is not just a social crisis. It's a psychological one, a spiritual one, born from the way our minds evolved and the way technology rewired what it means to belong. So let's go deeper. Let's uncover why we feel so empty in a world full of noise, and more importantly, how to find connection again.
We gather as the sun sets.
To understand loneliness, we must first understand where it came from. Loneliness is not a weakness. It's a survival signal, as ancient as fire and as human as breath. Hundreds of thousands of years ago, being alone meant death. We were tribal beings. Our safety came from belonging. One person kept watch, another gathered food.
And that's when I realized the wild boar actually led us right back to our village.
Ah, that's hilarious.
Another
And the
told stories
of
that
our
reminded us
ancestors,
who we
they
were.
light up the night,
A single
just like
night
this
away from the
fire.
group meant
that's
exposure, starvation, or predators in the dark. So evolution did something brilliant and cruel. It made isolation hurt. The ache of loneliness was a biological alarm, the mind's way of saying, you're drifting too far from the tribe. Go back, reconnect. Just as hunger pushes you to eat, loneliness pushes you to belong, even today. Your brain processes loneliness in the same region that registers physical pain. That's why heartbreak literally hurts. Why rejection burns. Why silence from someone you love can feel like suffocation. It's not just in your head. It's in your biology. Your nervous system doesn't understand the modern world. It still believes that being unseen means being unsafe. But here's the paradox. In the digital age, you can be surrounded by millions of voices online and still feel the same ancient terror of being left alone in the dark. Your body evolved to live around fires, not screens. Your heart was built for faces, not icons. The world evolved faster than your biology. And now, Your ancient instincts are trying to survive inside a machine built for endless simulation. Our evolutionary heritage is colliding with a digital reality we can't yet emotionally process. And the result is a species wired for tribe living in a world of pixels. We built social media to bring us together, but in truth, it turned us into spectators of each other's lives. We measure our worth by numbers, likes, followers, views. Tiny bursts of dopamine masquerading as affection. Science is painfully precise. Every notification, every ping, every like releases dopamine, the same chemical that fuels gambling and addiction. But dopamine isn't love. It's craving. It makes you chase more, but never feel full. We refresh the feed, not because we're curious, but because we're starving. Real connection releases oxytocin, the hormone of touch, empathy, and trust. But you can't download oxytocin. You can't feel it through glass. So we scroll. We perform. We curate happiness and hide despair. We post smiling photos while dying inside, because the illusion of connection feels safer than the truth of vulnerability.
Hey guys, I'm here at this amazing cafe. Oh, this is the best event ever.
Online, we
God,
share
you have to try
everything,
this.
except our truth. Every caption becomes a disguise. Every selfie a quiet plea. Do you see me? But the more we perform, the less we are seen. Because when connection becomes content, our souls go offline. We've mistaken visibility for value. We've confused attention for intimacy. We are surrounded by people who know us, but few who understand us. Our ancestors feared being eaten by predators. We fear being ignored by algorithms. And deep down, our nervous system doesn't know the difference. To be unseen still feels like death. No wonder we feel empty in a world that never stops talking. Because noise isn't connection, and stimulation isn't love. Loneliness isn't just a lack of people. It's a lack of presence. Presence from others, yes, but also presence from yourself. You can sit in a crowded cafe and feel like a ghost, because loneliness begins the moment you abandon your authenticity. From childhood, we learn to wear masks. We smile to be liked. We hide pain to appear strong. We silence truth to avoid rejection. And little by little, we forget which version of us is real.
Carl Jung called this the persona.
Carl Jung called it the persona, the mask we wear to survive society. It's useful until it becomes your prison. Because when you live too long behind the mask, connection becomes impossible. No one can touch you through armor. You hide your real self to be loved, but only the real self can be loved. That's the paradox that feeds emptiness. So you keep performing, and the applause grows louder, but your heart grows quieter. You scroll through faces, but none feel close.
And the paradox is painful. You hide your true self to be loved, but only the true self can be loved.
You talk but never speak. You hear but never listen. You are seen, but not known. And that's when loneliness becomes existential. Not, I have no one, but no one truly knows me. Loneliness is the ache of inauthenticity, the distance between your true self and the one you show the world. And until those two selves meet again, no crowd, no partner, no follower count can fill that space. Because the emptiness isn't out there. It's the silence inside you waiting for truth to return home. But there's another side to loneliness, a sacred one. Every mystic, every philosopher, every awakened soul has walked through the desert of solitude. Buddha left his palace to sit alone beneath a tree. Jesus withdrew to the wilderness. Nietzsche found clarity in his isolation. Rumi met God only after heartbreak. Because when the world goes silent, the soul begins to speak. Loneliness, in its highest form, is not an absence. It's an initiation. It strips away illusion.
Sometimes we feel lost.
It asks, who are you when no one validates you? Who are you when no one is watching? Who are you beneath the noise? And in that silence, you meet the one person you've been running from all along. Yourself. You realize something profound. You were never disconnected from the world, only distracted from your essence. The pain of loneliness is the soul's cry for reunion, the call to return home. In spiritual language, loneliness is separation from your source, from the divine, from the field of being, from the simple miracle of existing. The ego feeds on attention, approval, and control. But the soul only needs presence, pure, unfiltered being. When you stop seeking connection out there and start listening in here, you find the stillness that holds everything. And in that stillness, you discover what mystics have always known. You were never truly alone, because even in your solitude, life itself is keeping you company through the breath, the heartbeat, the quiet hum of existence. Loneliness, when faced with awareness, becomes a doorway to awakening. So how do we heal this emptiness? How do we return to real connection in a world built on illusion? The answer lies in relearning presence with your body, your truth, others, and the universe itself. Reconnect with your body. You are not a floating head made of thoughts. You are a living organism, wired for touch, for rhythm, for movement, for being here. Modern life has exiled us from the body. We live in screens, not skin. We chase meaning through pixels and forget that meaning was always in sensation. To heal loneliness, start by returning to the physical world. Breathe, not shallow and rushed, but deeply, like you belong here. Walk slowly. Feel the sun on your skin. Listen to the texture of wind. When you look at someone, really look. When you speak, feel the vibration in your chest. The body is where presence begins, and presence is where connection lives. Every real moment in your body dissolves a layer of separation. Reconnect with your authenticity. The cure for loneliness is honesty. Radical, uncomfortable honesty. Write the things you never say. Admit your fears, your needs, your longings. First to yourself, then slowly to someone safe. Vulnerability is not weakness. It's sacred exposure. It's the bridge between souls. When you reveal your truth, you give others permission to reveal theirs. Connection grows in truth, not performance. In presence, not perfection. So let your mask fall, piece by piece, because only the naked soul can be held. Reconnect with others. Deeply. Real connection doesn't require a crowd. It only needs depth.
It really
One
does.
honest conversation, one long walk, one shared silence can nourish more than 1,000 likes. Technology amplifies quantity, but it kills quality.
I'm thinking about
So choose
how we got
depth
here.
over breadth.
Yeah, it's been quite a
Reach
journey
out
for us
without
both.
agenda.
I
Listen
just feel
without
like it is what it
rehearsing
is.
your
I love
reply.
this thing.
Hold space
I know, but
for
it's not what it
another's
should
truth
be.
without trying to fix it. Empathy, not information,
And so
is the
I
medicine of our
always be very
time.
grateful for that.
Be the person who truly sees. Be the friend who makes others feel
I
real
want you to
again.
know that I'm always
Because
here
in
for
making
you.
others feel seen, you heal your own invisibility. 4. Reconnect spiritually. Finally, go beyond the human circle. Step into nature, the original web of connection. Watch the trees breathe together, the wind move between leaves, the sky cradle everything in silence. This is the oldest form of belonging. Practice stillness. Whether it's meditation, prayer, breathwork, or gratitude, these are not escapes, they are reconnections. Each breath is a message from the universe. You belong here. Loneliness dissolves when you remember that life itself is in constant relationship, every atom dancing with every other. The moment you feel this, you stop being alone and start being part of everything. Loneliness is not a curse, it's a compass. It points you back to what you've forgotten. That connection is not something to find. It's something to remember. Maybe the real cure for loneliness isn't more people, it's more presence. Maybe the remedy for emptiness isn't stimulation, but stillness. Maybe the reason we feel so lost is because we keep searching for home in places that can't hold us. When the noise fades and you finally meet yourself, you realize the connection you sought has been waiting inside you all along. You were never disconnected, only distracted. And when you remember this, the world becomes intimate again. Every glance, every breath, every small act of awareness becomes sacred. The walls of loneliness collapse. What remains is something simple, ancient, and infinitely human, the quiet joy of being alive. This is Psyche Logos. Thank you for watching.